Max Verstappen has once again proven why he's a true master of Formula One. This isn't just another season of wins, it's a tale of resilience, mind games, and jaw-dropping performances on the track. At the heart of this story lies the Las Vegas Grand Prix, where the spotlight wasn't just on the race but on the fierce rivalry between Verstappen and Lando Norris. At the Las Vegas Grand Prix, the race seemed to be all about the resurgence of Mercedes, with George Russell clinching the victory. But the real headline? Max Verstappen securing his fourth consecutive championship title, solidifying his place among the legends of Formula One. Despite the limelight often shifting elsewhere during the race, Verstappen only needed one crucial thing to stay ahead of his closest contender, Lando Norris. For Verstappen, the challenge was clear. His task wasn't just about driving, it was about silencing critics, including Norris, who had been openly questioning his dominance. The tension was palpable as Norris worked tirelessly in a McLaren that struggled to keep up with Red Bull's pace earlier in the season. Even as Norris gained momentum mid-season, Verstappen showcased what makes champions stand apart: consistency and adaptability. The race in Las Vegas became a defining moment, not just for the title but for Verstappen's ability to block out the noise and focus. By the end of the day, he had bagged his fourth title, becoming the sixth driver in history to achieve this feat. With his fourth championship secured, Verstappen joined an elite club of legends like Juan Manuel Fangio, Michael Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton. While this season might seem like just another step in his dominance, it was far from an easy ride. Verstappen himself admitted that the 2024 campaign came with challenges that pushed him to his limits, both on and off the track. The season began with Max storming through the first 10 races, clinching 7 wins, and making the championship look like a one-sided affair. However, the narrative took a sharp turn when McLaren stepped up their game, with Norris emerging as a genuine threat after his breakthrough win in Miami. McLaren's rise brought new life to the championship fight. Norris not only improved his performance on the track but also didn't shy away from stirring things up off it. He publicly questioned Verstappen's abilities, often hinting that Max's success was more about the car than the driver. Comments like these set the stage for a psychological battle, adding an extra layer of drama to the already tense title race. Meanwhile, Red Bull faced issues of their own. Balance problems began to creep into their car, and Verstappen found himself in a position he hadn't faced in years, defending his title without a clear mechanical advantage. But it was in these moments that the Dutchman showed why he's a four-time champion. Instead of succumbing to pressure, Verstappen used the criticism and setbacks as fuel to prove his doubters wrong. Reflecting on the season, Verstappen acknowledged the rollercoaster nature of his campaign. "It's been a tough season in many ways," he remarked. "We started strong, but the challenges came thick and fast. What I'm most proud of is how the team and I stuck together, constantly improving and pushing forward." Despite the ups and downs, Verstappen's determination never wavered. By the time the Las Vegas Grand Prix arrived, he was a man on a mission, ready to seal the deal with 2 races still to go. The Las Vegas Grand Prix wasn't just another race, it was the final hurdle for Verstappen to cement his legacy as a 4-time champion. The glittering streets of Vegas may have belonged to Mercedes' George Russell that evening, but Verstappen had his eyes firmly on the prize. All he needed was to finish ahead of Lando Norris, whose McLaren team had shown flashes of brilliance but struggled to maintain consistency throughout the season. As the race unfolded, Verstappen maintained his composure despite intense pressure. Even after sliding off the podium during the final stint, he had already done enough to secure the championship. For Verstappen, this wasn't just about numbers, it was a testament to his resilience and unshakable focus throughout a grueling season. "It feels like a relief," Verstappen admitted after the race. "This season wasn't just about driving fast, it was about staying calm, learning from mistakes, and keeping the team together when things got tough." He went on to compare the year to his previous campaigns, calling it one of his most challenging yet rewarding seasons. Unlike the dominance of his 2023 season, where Verstappen's victories felt almost effortless, 2024 tested every aspect of his skill set. From adapting to car balance issues to fending off a rapidly improving McLaren team, the season had its fair share of hurdles. Yet Verstappen took it all in stride, using each challenge as an opportunity to grow. While Verstappen celebrated his victory, Norris reflected on what could have been. Despite having one of the best cars on the grid for much of the season, the McLaren driver fell short in key moments, such as the race in Spa, where grid penalties and strategic errors cost him valuable points. Norris's frustration was evident, as he later admitted that McLaren had missed several chances to put real pressure on Verstappen. Norris's comments, which often targeted Verstappen's supposed reliance on superior machinery, added fuel to their rivalry. Yet, race after race, Verstappen proved that his success was more than just about the car. He had the skill, the strategy, and the mindset of a true champion. For Norris and McLaren, the 2024 season was riddled with what-ifs. One critical turning point came during the Spa Grand Prix. Red Bull had opted for an engine change for Verstappen, knowing it would incur a grid penalty. Starting from 11th position, Verstappen managed to showcase his remarkable racecraft, climbing through the field with precision. Meanwhile, Norris, despite starting higher, failed to capitalize on the opportunity. A late tire change strategy backfired, and a penalty for exceeding track limits further compounded his woes. By the summer break, Verstappen's lead stood firm at 78 points, a daunting gap that spoke volumes about his consistency and ability to seize crucial moments. Yet, the true game-changer came later in the season, when Verstappen put on a masterclass at Interlagos. Rainy conditions, grid penalties, and unexpected red flags defined the chaos of the Brazil Grand Prix ice weekend. Verstappen, starting from 17th after a grid penalty for engine component changes, delivered what many called a drive for the ages. Overtaking rivals with calculated aggression, Verstappen turned a seemingly impossible situation into yet another triumph. Norris, on the other hand, found himself struggling once again. Despite starting strong, a pit strategy misstep and a failed overtaking attempt left him unable to mount a serious challenge. By the time Verstappen crossed the finish line, his championship lead had ballooned further, leaving the rest of the field playing catch-up. Acknowledging Verstappen's brilliance, Norris later admitted, "He's been flawless all season. Even when things didn't go his way, he found a way to stay competitive. That's what sets him apart." However, Norris couldn't resist pointing out that McLaren's early season struggles had played a significant role in the outcome. "If we had a better car at the start, it would have been a very different story," he added, hinting at what might lie ahead in future seasons. With the championship secured, Verstappen reflected on his journey. "Winning 4 in a row is something I never imagined. It's not just about me, it's about the entire team, everyone back at the factory, the engineers, the mechanics. They've given me the tools to fight, and I'm incredibly proud to have achieved this together." The Dutchman didn't stop there. With 2 races still left in the season, he emphasized his hunger to keep pushing and improving. "The next challenge is always around the corner. This title is special, but there's so much more I want to accomplish," he remarked with quiet determination. As the Las Vegas Grand Prix drew to a close, the spotlight was firmly on Verstappen's unparalleled achievement. Yet, the season's narrative wasn't without its share of drama. Norris had been vocal throughout the year, often attributing Verstappen's success to Red Bull's technical edge rather than pure skill. However, the results on the track told a different story. Even when Red Bull struggled with balance issues, Verstappen's adaptability shone. Take the Brazilian Grand Prix, for instance. Starting from 17th and finishing on the top step of the podium wasn't just a display of technical prowess but a masterclass in race strategy and mental fortitude. Norris, despite having a more competitive car for much of the season's second half, couldn't match that level of consistency. For McLaren, the season was a mix of progress and missed opportunities. One of the most glaring moments came during the Mexico Grand Prix. While Norris had the pace to win, errors in execution led to a mere second-place finish behind Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. Strategic mistakes and on-track penalties haunted McLaren throughout the season, with Norris himself admitting that the team failed to capitalize on their strongest races. "Every small mistake cost us," Norris reflected. "When you're fighting someone like Max, there's no room for error. He's relentless, and that's what makes him so hard to beat." For Verstappen, the key wasn't just the car, it was his approach. While rivals focused on his supposed advantages, he remained laser-focused on improvement. Red Bull's team dynamics also played a crucial role. "It's not just about having a fast car, it's about how we work together as a unit," Verstappen explained. "From strategy to execution, everyone's on the same page, and that's what keeps us ahead." Despite the criticism, Verstappen remained unfazed, channeling the pressure into motivation. "You hear things, of course," he admitted, addressing the comments made by Norris and others. "But at the end of the day, I know what I'm capable of. People can say what they want, it's my results that do the talking." With the 2024 championship in the bag, Verstappen is already looking to the future. He knows that the competition will only get tougher, with McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari all making significant strides. But for now, he's savoring the moment, reflecting on a season that tested him in ways he hadn't experienced before. As for Norris, the young driver remains optimistic. "This isn't the end of the story," he said. "We've learned a lot this year, and I know we'll come back stronger. Max has set the standard, and I'm ready to meet it head-on." As the dust settled on the 2024 season, one thing became clear: Formula One is entering an era of fierce rivalries and ever-tightening competition. Verstappen's dominance may have been the story of the year, but the growing challenge from teams like McLaren and drivers like Norris signals an exciting future. Verstappen himself acknowledged the shifting dynamics, saying, "Next year is going to be different. The gaps are closing, and every race will be a battle." That's what makes this sport so thrilling, though. You can never take anything for granted. For Norris, the 2024 season served as a wake-up call. While his breakthrough performances highlighted his potential, the missed opportunities revealed the gaps that still need closing. "I've learned more this year than in any other season," Norris admitted. "If I want to be champion, I need to work harder, make fewer mistakes, and stay focused no matter what." As the 2025 season approaches, the question remains, can anyone dethrone Verstappen? McLaren's progress suggests that Norris could be the one to do it, but Mercedes and Ferrari will undoubtedly have their say. For now, however, the Dutchman stands tall as the benchmark, the one everyone else is chasing. So, what do you think? Has Verstappen reached his peak, or is there more greatness to come? And will Norris or another challenger rise to meet him? The answers await in the next chapter of Formula One.